What's good? What's good, fire starters? Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, everybody that's coming up in here this afternoon, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all a lot, man. All right. We got a motherfucking situation going on here. Respectfully. Shout out the whole nation. Down in Mississippi, yo. All right. Appreciate y'all. Let's get this informative information out because it is definitely a lot of bullshit going on with this situation, y'all. Hit that like button. Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, everybody that's coming up in here, man. Breaking news. All right, because this situation has been getting a lot of attention and a lot of coverage ever since Nolan went missing on the 4th of July down there on Horn Island in Mississippi. All right, and it's a lot of strange shit going on. And not only is it a lot of strange shit, y'all, shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, okay? All right, he was last seen on the boat with these friends right here. And just so happens, okay, out of everybody that was out there, allegedly, Nolan was the only black guy around, y'all. Shout out everybody that's coming up in here. I appreciate y'all. All right. And the parents and the family of this young man, they are having a fit. And not only are they having a fit, shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation and everybody that's coming up in here, man. All right. Shout out all my mods and my flame raiders. Strategic Live. As a body has been found, y'all. Hit the like button. A body has been found. A body has been found not too long ago. Not too far from the area where he was last seen and last missing, fire starters. All right. I appreciate all the love and all the support. Let's get into this situation right here. All right. Because somebody knows something. And not only do somebody know something, they know a whole lot of something, yo. All right. Now, respectfully, all right, we'd like to send our prayers and our wishes out to Nolan's family, his mom, his dad, all right, and everybody that has joined this unfortunate search for this young man, okay, that was out there with these so-called pieces of shit ass friends. They ain't give a goddamn about Nolan, his well-being, his safety, his whereabouts, or nothing. That's right, I said it. And it need to be fucking said. And there's a lot of people down there in and around Horn Harbor and down there in Mississippi are covering this shit up, y'all. They are covering this up. It is a lot of major cover-ups and interferences all in this investigation, y'all. Okay? Now, shout out the whole Fire Starter family, everybody that's coming up in here. Let's get to this breaking news right quick. All right? Because I have a lot of strategic, vital research to bring to the forefront, man. Let's go. Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation.
LOX News Now Midday starts with breaking news.
Breaking news, a body has been found on Horn Island near where missing 18-year-old Nolan Wells went missing. Search crews like this one you see here in the air have been searching for him for more than 40 hours now. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brandy McGill. Will Polston has been on the scene at a command post in Jackson County all morning as they search, and he now joins us live. Good morning to you, Will.
Hey, good morning, Brandy. We got word here just at about 8:45 that there was a body found on Horn Island, and the officials are now working on bringing that back. Now, as of right now, we do not have an identity of the body that was found, but I can confirm that Nolan Wells' family is here at the Lake Mars boat launch. Now, they've asked us not to show the camera in that direction right now of the family grieving. There is quite a bit of family and friends here from Nolan's family, but like I said, we do not have identity as of right now. Sheriff Ledbetter did confirm that a park ranger ended up finding the body that was found, and the coroner was here earlier and has since left. They left right at about 10 o'clock, just after 10 a.m., waiting on getting official confirmation on the identity, cause of death, and everything else in between. Of course, as we find out more information, we're going to be updating you on our website at WLOX.com. But as of right now, a really somber scene as the family all gathered around, hugging.
Okay, so as y'all hear, the body has not been positively identified. Okay, but the word is that's coming out of Mississippi from my reliable resources, and there's a lot of people on Facebook and all in these groups are talking about it that are close to the family, that are confirming that the body that was found in Horn Island this morning is the body, all right, of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, y'all. Shout out the whole nation and everybody that's coming up in here, all right, because this situation is fucked up. And not only is it fucked up, y'all, all right, we continue to see these same situations over and over and over and over again, over and over and over and over again, over and over and over and over again. It ain't no motherfucking way nobody gonna tell me, all right, respectfully, because we ain't racial over here. We biracial. We don't give a fuck if you black, white, midnight purple, or candy stripe. But if you fucked up and you got a fucked up spirit, that's who you is, and that's what the fuck you are. And we're going to call it how the fuck we see it. All right, and like I said, ain't no way in the motherfucking world all these white folks out there. Like I said, I gotta say it the way it need to be fucking said. All right, let me say it again. Ain't no way in the world all these white folks out there, and this boy is the only black boy out there, and nobody see him go missing. Nobody noticed he was gone. Now, from what I am hearing, y'all, okay, that Nolan was missing, all right, earlier on in that day, and it never was reported, y'all, okay, until later on that night and into the evening when Nolan no longer was answering his phone, when Nolan didn't return home like he should have returned home. That's when the family became curious. That's when the family became very suspicious about what was going on with their son, because their son always answered their phone calls, all right, and he knew to be home at a certain time. Now, like I said, y'all, it's a lot of shit that allegedly is being covered up down there on Horn Island. All right. Shout out the whole nation, everybody that's coming up in here. I appreciate y'all because, like I said, man, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, y'all. All right. I appreciate everybody that's coming up in here. Like I said, it's a major cover up that's going on down there on Horn Island. And allegedly, what I am being told, y'all, they're saying that the sheriff's office is possible with this cover up. Shout out everybody that's coming up in here. They're saying the sheriff's office, all right, is possibly involved in this cover up, all right? People that work at the courthouse, at City Hall, and all this other shit, all right, is connected to these friends of Nolan that he was last seen with. Now, I am also hearing that one of these boys that's in the picture, their mother is a judge. That's right. Strategic drop. Their mother is the judge of that county down there in Mississippi. All right. And this is why you see certain platforms, okay, on Instagram and on Facebook, they're blocking their faces out. They're blocking the white boys' faces out. And it's a reason why they're blocking their faces out. You know why? Because they allegedly have been threatened by some higher authorities coming out of Mississippi about putting their, all right, son, nephew, cousin, or whoever these kids are related to down there, all right, in Horn Island, Mississippi. And this is why even when you go to the shade room, y'all, peep the game, all right? The shade room blocks out, all right, these boys' pictures. And you have to ask yourself, why are you blocking out the pictures of Nolan with these guys where he is with his so-called friends and these the last people that he was seen with? Make it make sense. Do that make any sense, y'all? Right? And no, we're not targeting them, but it's other people in other platforms, all right, on social media that are also doing the same thing. All right. So, like I said, a lot of this stuff not adding up with Nolan. Not only is it not adding up, all right, his mom took to Facebook, y'all. Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation. Strategic drop. Let's get the views to match the likes and the likes to match the views. I appreciate all the love and all the support as I just got the notification from the mom. All right. Okay. The mom of Nolan just put on Facebook, as we know that Nolan's family is down there on Horn Harbor when they found out that they found the body in the water down there. Okay, so she says she takes the Facebook because she's been putting a lot of stuff on Facebook, man, and it is a lot going on in that comment section. It's a lot of information, a lot of receipts, it's a lot of things people are putting out there. All right. As she say, I want to thank our family, friends, community, United Cajun Navy, law enforcement, and everyone involved for all the love, support, resources over the last few days. His father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. My heart broken for my sweat son who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. All right. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. I ask that you give me and my family time to grieve. Okay. All right. But respectfully, all right, like I said, the mom has had a lot to say ever since this situation has happened, all right? As it says also this morning, she said his father, Elmore Wansley, and I are not okay, all right? Which I find that very odd and strange that his father has this last name, Wansley, and so does his mom or his stepmom, whoever she supposed to be, respectfully, but his last name is totally different from theirs. Okay, but we ain't here to focus on that. I just thought, that was kind of odd and kind of strange, if you ask me, respectfully. Okay, but like I said, she has taken to social media and expressed her concerns and her frustrations about this situation. And like I said, man, all right, it's a lot of things in the comments too that people are putting out there, letting it be known, okay, what they feel as though what happened. Some people were out on this island, okay? This island is a known hub, okay, for everybody to go out there on their boats, everybody, they fishing, playing in the water, riding, they jet skis, blah, blah, this and that, in the third, as this is supposed to be one of the last pictures, allegedly, okay, that was taken with Nolan inside of the water. Now, if you ask me, y'all, okay, I'm not a rocket scientist, okay, and I'm far from deaf, dumb, and blind, but we cannot positively identify Nolan in this picture. All right. I'm going to be honest. All right. You cannot positively identify Nolan in this picture at all. Okay. What y'all think? Shout out everybody up in here. All right. What do y'all think? If somebody was to send you a picture and your son is missing, last time he was seen was on the water, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that, in the third, and a picture like this was sent to you, and you know your son from front to back, up and down, and all the way around, okay? You would be able to recognize if that's your son or not, right? Right? And I am hearing from reliable resources, all right, that the parents do not believe that that is their son in this water, in this picture here. Okay? Because all of a sudden, y'all, in all the other pictures, okay, and it's a lot floating around. He don't have no hat on. All right? He don't have any hat on. Okay? But it's something else that I wanted y'all to take heed to. Right? Show y'all something. If you actually look at where this picture is circled at, all right, it's two alleged black guys, okay, and they both have hats on. All right, now, the black guy that's facing toward the left, all right, you can't even see his face. And the one that's facing toward us, it looked like he was cropped in that picture, y'all. Hit the like button. Strategic drop. You can tell that person with the shades on looking directly at us. Okay? He has been cropped in that picture. All right? And if you got the eye of the tiger, you can see that shit in plain fucking broad daylight. It could be pitch black dark, y'all. All right? You could be able to see that this picture or whoever this person is with these shades on, with that hat on, that picture has been cropped in. Okay? All right, but like I said, what I find very odd and very strange is, okay, the kids, the friends have not been investigated, y'all. They have not been investigated at all. At all. The friends have not been investigated. They have not been interrogated. They haven't been questioned or anything. Just remind you of the same shit that happened with Kendrick Johnson. Okay? Same patterns all the time. Same patterns back to back. Okay? And like I said, man, I'm hearing that allegedly Nolan was dead for hours. Allegedly, right after this picture was taken, y'all. All right? Somehow, some way. All right? They are saying Nolan dipped off with a girl. All right? A white girl. Hit the like button. Strategic drop. All right? And one of these white girls that Nolan dipped off with, y'all, make sure y'all hit the like button so we can get this informative information out who it needs to reach. Make sure y'all share this on all platforms. Okay? Because we need to find out who this alleged girl was that Nolan, all right, was up under some part of time during that day. And it is said, okay, when he went and dipped off with this female, all right, he left his phone. Now, I find that very odd and strange that a young kid, 18 years old, out having a good time on the 4th of July, okay, dips off with a female and leaves their phone. Who doing that shit? Where we make real life matters make real life sense all the time, right? Okay, right. It sounds like an alibi, okay, but it is something, okay, to also put into consideration because it is being said from my reliable resources that the girl, y'all, check this out. The girl that Nolan dipped off with, the girl that he was talking to, blah, blah, this and that and the third, okay? All right? One of these guys, or a couple of these guys, and maybe a few others, was jealous of the fact, okay, that Nolan had these white girls. Hit the like button. Strategic drop. And we already know how them type feel about when their kind or is with a black man. Right? Right? Hit the like button. Let me say it again. Nolan was known, I'm hearing, to be a ladies' man. All right, all the girls flocked to him. all the girls that is the same shade of color of these boys that he is with in this picture. And like I said, a lot of people was jealous of Nolan allegedly and the girl that he was seeing and dealing with, y'all. All right? This is what's being said. This is what's being told. Now, it can be an alibi. What they say, oh, he dipped off with a girl, blah, 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 and never was seen again. All right? But if it is an alibi, we need to know who the hell that damn girl is. If it is any girl. All right? Because all these pieces need to be put together. Now, someone sent me a message this morning, y'all, and I thought this message was very interesting and very scary, very frightening. Okay? Somebody had put a post on Facebook. Okay, somebody wanted to screenshot it. Actually, and they tagged his mom in it. All right? Some guy named Ed Stewart, okay? As everybody was all in the comments trying to find out what was going on, okay? And this is what he said. For those out there looking for Nolan, and remind y'all, this was yesterday. All right? This was yesterday. He put this under their comments. All right? For those out here looking for Nolan Wells, that boy that went missing from the waters off the north side of West Horn, I have fished these waters over 45 years, and I know these waters as good as anyone. And the currents this time of the year are moderate to strong. With that said, they tend to circle in this area between Horn and Deer. We've always called this area the washing machine due to the currents from the Biloxi Bay coming in from the north. And the what? Predominant. And the predominant wind and the tides coming in from the southeast this time of the year, And over the years, I have lost everything from floaties to coolers and life vests from weekends on the west end of Horn. And in many cases, found them in the circle on the map. Okay? So he's basically said, okay, if you want to find this boy, all right, so there is where I'll be looking for the next 24 hours. Okay? He said his body will definitely float up. And that's exactly allegedly what happened. Now, with this post here, I feel as though, all right, he was already considering that Nolan already was dead. Nolan already had drowned. Okay, and if you ask me, this particular person was telling them the exact area where to search. And I find that very odd and very strange, y'all. Okay? Whoever this Ed Stewart guy is, all right? He put this up. And like I said, the way it's coordinated and the way that it's written, you can tell, all right, that allegedly he may know more about this situation than anybody else. Okay? And I don't give a damn what nobody said. Because he basically telling everybody where to go, how to get there, where the exact area at, and where to go find him. All right? And in the next 24 hours, his body will float. All right? Pay attention. Shout out the whole nation. This is crazy work, y'all. Okay? Peep the game. So this is where I'll be looking for the next 24 hours. And that's exactly where his body popped up at, y'all. Okay? That's exactly where his body popped up at. Okay? Right in the same area, he told everybody to go search and go look. All right? Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, everybody that's coming up in here. Breaking news, okay? Body found. Body found of Nolan Wells, who went missing this 4th of July weekend while out on the water down in Mississippi, Horn Island, with his so-called buddies and his so-called friends that never said a goddamn word about it. And like I said, man, all right, allegedly the people down in that area, in that town, okay, are covering up this situation because I found out, y'all, strategic drop, that one of these guys that's in the picture, their mom is a judge. Hit the like button. Are y'all ready for this? Check it out, y'all. Strategic drop. Let's go. Okay? Once you start digging around, you don't know what the hell you're going to find, right? Right? Right. And that's all it takes is a little bit of digging. Okay? Because as we see, the mother, okay, of one of these so-called friends is a fucking judge, all right, for Chancery Court, all right, Chancery Court judge for Jackson, okay, Jackson, George, and Greene counties. Who is out there from Horn Harbor? Excuse me, Horn Island. Who's here from Horn Island? In and around or somewhere close to those parts. Okay? Have y'all ever been sentenced? Have y'all ever stood in front of Judge Cole? Ashley Cole. Okay? She is the Chancery Court judge in Jackson, George, and Greene County, Mississippi. All right? The 16th district. Okay? Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, everybody that's up in here. Strategic drop. What's good, Angie? All right? What's going on here? Very suspicious. Very suspicious, y'all. Okay? Listen here. I don't give a damn what nobody say. One of those kids, okay, told the police exactly where to look. Or they told somebody and somebody told them exactly where to look. And this is where, okay, this post came from. I'm telling you, y'all, one of those kids, okay, one of those kids knew exactly where that body was at. Okay? I don't give a damn what nobody said. They knew exactly where that body was at. All right? But now the question is, since they found the damn body, all right, what happened? What happened to Nolan Wells? And what made y'all not report him missing? Why did his family have to report him missing? As they said, they thought he caught a ride back on another boat. You see, y'all, these stories continuously changed and changed and changed and changed. Y'all know that, right? Now, you know, their first story was they don't remember anything. That was the first story. They don't remember a goddamn thing. They don't remember nothing. That's what was said. And then they said, oh, I thought he might have caught a ride with somebody else back to shore. So we never thought of even trying to go and look for him. We just figured he caught another ride back, right? And then he came out and they said he dipped off with this girl. Now, like I said, y'all, that's 3 different stories from the same group of individuals that was around him, all the way to the last photos that was taken. Okay? Now, remind you, who owns this boat? Shout out to everybody that's up in here, man. If y'all have any information, okay, on this situation, man, all right, y'all could DM me and y'all could email me. Email me at GuyFearTV3166 or DM me at GuyFearTV on Instagram. All right? Because these boys told the mother and the family so many lies. They even said, y'all, that he was wearing black shorts at first. Check this shit out, y'all. All right, they even told, look at this. Strategic drop. Let me show y'all something. All right? They told the family that he was wearing black shorts at first. Check this out. We were provided with incorrect information regarding what he was wearing. I was sent this picture. As you can see, he was in blue swim trunks, not black yesterday. Peep the game. Okay? But they told his mom that he was wearing black, not blue. And another question is this. Like I said, all right, the owners of that boat, that part, which y'all thought we forgot about that shit? Huh? As we see, whoever allowed them to use the boat, because I'm quite sure it was some adults around, y'all. I ain't trying to hear that shit. All right, and we can see right here and plain goddamn 4K with our own eyes that it is adults around in this water. All right? So, with that being said, we know that these are 18-year-old kids, right? Right? These 18-year-old kids were drinking on the water, right? Right? Right. And not only was they drinking on the water, all right, whoever owned that boat should also be held accountable and held responsible for this situation. Because, like I said, it's their boat, and he's on their boat drinking. Florida, the legal age limit to consume alcohol is what, y'all? 21 years old. And drinking on the water is a what? Hit the like button. Strategic drop. Drinking on the water is a what? No. It's an automatic violation off the rip. Right? Right off the rip. Okay? So why the people who own the boat not being questioned? Who bought them alcohol? Who served him alcohol? Who served them alcohol? All right? Somebody had to give it to him. All right? Because reliable resources have been telling me right after Nolan had a couple of drinks, all right, he started acting kind of weird and kind of strange, all right? So I'm more like, what you mean acting kind of weird and kind of strange? Because we already know what's going on out here. You got to watch who you're around when you smoking shit, when you drinking shit. People put anything in anything. You lay your drink down, somebody put something in your drink. Have your ass disorientated than a motherfucker. You won't know what's going on or where the fuck you at. All right? These are facts. And like I said, this is the 4th of July weekend, y'all. You have to understand, teenagers try new things. Hit the like button, strategic drop. Let me say it again, because I was a teenager myself, partying with so-called friends on holidays and these fake-ass special events. And like I said, teens get curious when they're around a whole bunch of other teens, all right? And they start to dib and dab and try new things, all right? So these are all facts. So we can't leave any of this type of shit out because it's possible. This type of shit actually happened. It actually go down. All right, and some people never come back. And unfortunately, all right, Nolan never came back. And nobody don't know a goddamn thing. Somebody knows something. All right, and I also believe Nolan did not drown. I do not believe Nolan drowned, y'all. From the reliable resources and the receipts and everything that I have been going over, I do not believe Nolan drowned. They found his body in the water. Nolan did not die in that water, y'all. All right? And they threw his ass in that water allegedly to get rid of some more evidence. Strategic drop. All right? Motherfuckers ain't stupid, bro. All right? Nolan did not die in that water, y'all. Nolan did not die in that water. That's only where his body was found. Okay? All right? Nolan did not drown. Nolan did not drown, y'all. All right? 9 times out of 10, when Nolan went down in that water, he was unconscious or already dead. Let me say it again, respectfully. About time Nolan got put in that water, he was either unconscious or he was already dead. All right? Okay? And that's how they got his goddamn phone. Why you think his friends had his phone? How you think they had his phone? It was able to get a phone to the parents. Okay, and I do believe Nolan fought for his life. I believe Nolan fought all the way to the motherfucking end, y'all. All right? Because, like I said, man, there's no way in the world that all these white people are on this boat and out there having a good time and nobody don't recognize Nolan missing. All right? Now, let me tell y'all something. It's a few other people, white folks, that is, that are also expressing their self about how they feel about this situation. Okay, and I feel as though, okay, this particular person was speaking some real shit. Okay, and she lived from out there. She lived down there. All right, and you could tell what she was saying and how she was saying it. That okay, that it is a major cover up going on down there. All right, in and around those parts of Mississippi. All right, because we know that that's a very, very racist state, y'all. Mississippi is one of the racist states in America. All right? Ain't no damn secret. Everybody know that. All right? The more further south you go, the more racist it get. In Mississippi, where is that? All the way down the bottom, ain't it? Ain't it? Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, man. Show y'all something right here, y'all. I appreciate y'all because, yo, like I said, man, a lot of this stuff ain't adding up, and it never added up. It never added up. Got y'all right here, yo.
About this Nolan situation, this little boy that got lost out at Horn Island yesterday, because I just hate to see motherfuckers making videos about somebody else's trauma just to get a damn dollar. But I'm just going to go ahead and take it too far, because that's where you always find the truth. I think that every phone of every fucking kid that was around him yesterday needs their phone taken and confiscated by a government department, okay? Not their parents. Number two, I want to know who the parents of these kids are. Are any of them lawyers? Just asking for a friend.
Facts.
Do any of them work for DMR? Do any of them work for the City of Ocean Springs Education Department?
Yup, they're all connected, like New York Telephone and Bell Atlantic. And this is why they haven't had. Let me shut up.
City department, any kind of governmenty positions on the children. Moving on. Obviously, who the fuck leaves their friend on a damn island? Some lady on the internet just said, the last time that he was seen, the friend said, "Hey, Nolan, get on the boat." Okay, and then what? What did Nolan say? What? No, I'm trying to get Katie's number. No, I left my koozie over here at this other boat. Hold on, let me go tell my homeboy over here we're leaving. What happened after that? Since we know they told him to get on the boat, what did he say when they told him? I think Katie's irrelevant. I don't think she has a leg in this race. I don't know none of these folks, but I just think poor little Katie really ain't got nothing to do with it, unless they didn't want to see that cute little boy out there with that little girl.
Hit the like button. Strategic drop. All right. So, like I said, shout out Angela, man. I appreciate the love and all the support. Appreciate the endorsement, sponsorship, and super sticker and gift of this live. All right. And I appreciate you for being a loyal member. All right. The numbers say 23 months, but I'm trying to tell you, man. All right. Angie been here longer than that. One of the top tier Flaming Raiders and moderators around here, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support as I just dropped a strategic bomb. All right. Because like I said, it is going around that he was with who? Some girl. And now we know who that girl is. Right? The name anyway. And the name of this girl is Kate that he was with. And as you hear what she said, if it's true that he dipped off with that girl Kate, right? Right? Is it possible, okay, that nobody he was with wanted to see him with that girl Kate? You heard what she said, right? You think she don't know? What color is she? You think she don't know? Like I said, man, it has been some things going around in and around that town, y'all. All right? And some people know what's going on. A lot of people know what's going on. Not only do a lot of people know what's going on, they know exactly what happened to Nolan. All right? How it happened, when it happened, in the exact way it happened. All the way. All the way. Okay? So let's finish what she got to say, y'all.
And there's some weird shit going on. Hold on, let me go tell my homeboy over here we're leaving. What happened after that? Since we know they told him to get on the boat, what did he say when they told him? I think Katie's irrelevant. I don't think she has a leg in this race. I don't know.
Yes, she do. Yes, you do. Yes, she do.
None of these folks. But I just think poor little Katie really ain't got nothing to do with it, unless they didn't want to see that cute little boy out there with that little girl. And there's some weird shit going on in the deep south of Mississippi. Anyway, moving on. I just don't understand it because
you heard that? She said a mouthful, didn't she? She said a mouthful without saying a whole lot. And she said there's some deep shit going on down there in Mississippi when it comes to what? Black boys with white girls. Black men with white women, right? Didn't she just say that out her own mouth? Do you know how many black men and black boys have been killed because they were messing with a white woman or a white girl? And some white people did not approve of it, and they plotted to kill that person. These are facts. All right, and it's been going on since the beginning of time. Okay, now, like I said, y'all, I'm hearing before Nolan touched that water, Nolan was already dead. Okay? Nolan did not die in that water. Nolan did not die of drowning. All right? And you best believe the coroner's office down there is going to add their cover up. The medical examiner's office. All right? Trust me, if the mother, if the friends of Nolan mothers is a judge and they lawyers and got all these fucking plugs in with the county, city hall, and all that shit, what that tell you? What that tell you? Okay? The medical examiner's office is also going to try to cover this shit up. Because if it was me or you or any one of us, right, and we took a picture with one of our friends, a group picture, all right, and one of them friends do not come back, who are they going to investigate? Who is going to be questioned? Who is going into the interrogation room? Who is the main suspects? We are, right? So why they're not? Why they are not the what? Main suspects. You know why? Because their mom is a judge. Their dad is a lawyer, DA. All types of councilmen. Political connections all in and around that town. Why you think they never got charged for drinking on the water? They're openly in the picture that's getting posted to social media with them drinking on the water. You know why they feel freely doing it? Because they know they are protected. Just like them little fucking white boys that was also protected with the Kendrick Johnson situation. Their father was a what? FBI detective. And that's why that case is going the way it is going to. And who was involved as I strategically mold this shit together? The coroner's office, the sheriff's office, the clerk's office, the medical examiner's office, and on and on and on and on, even down to the goddamn funeral parlor. Stuffed that boy with paper, took all his organs and everything. Enough is enough of this shit. And I'm going to tell you what they're trying to do. And I've been telling all my black sisters and all my black brothers over here, respectfully, to stand down. Okay, but they're trying to start a race war. They're trying to start a race war, y'all. Us versus them. Them versus us. That's what they really want. They want us, they're trying to get us so emotionally invested, so emotionally upset that we will go out in the streets and act like a motherfucking fool so they could shoot us and kill us like dogs in the fucking street. That's what they actually want to do. All right? And if shit like this keep happening, they're going to push the right motherfucking button at the wrong motherfucking time. And we're seeing these cases coming back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. Okay? This is crazy work. Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, man. All right? Like, you can't make this type of shit up, man. You just can't. You just can't. Star football player. A1. Okay? A1 star. Okay? And like I said, you got a lot of so-called yike folks. They're coming out and they're speaking.
18-year-old Nolan Wells, black young man, about 6'1", 180 pounds, was last seen on that north end of Horn Island. Guys, he hasn't been found. Okay, he was last talking to a girl on that north end. He went out to Horn Island with some buddies yesterday out on a boat. He's not been heard from in close to 24 hours. So guys, if you're out there fishing, if you're out there, jet skiing, doing whatever you guys are doing, keep your eyes out for Nolan. Family's going to be out there in the boat searching. We're going to try and get some air assets up there. We know there's surface assets around. Coast Guard's been notified. Local police have been notified. Guys, please, please keep your eyes out. Look at the poster. Look at the pictures. Let's see what we can do. Let's find this young boy. His mother's worried sick. Let's do what we do, guys. Love each and every one of you. Be safe. I hope you all still have 10 fingers and toes. Let's do work. Hey, guys. Good morning, Josh Gill. Good morning, Josh Gill.
Okay, so, you do got some that's acting like they all worried now. Let me just clear the air, all right? All of them ain't fucked up people, bro, all right? Just like they look at us, they think that we all fucked up because one bad apple spoils a bunch, and that's not the actual truth. Okay, and the same thing goes for them. All of them is not racially fucked up. All of them don't have this in their heart. Okay? But just like how they look at us, you can't decipher who from who and what from what. Just like they look at us. All right? They don't try to what? Decipher, who the good black person, who the bad black person. When the situation erupt, we all fucked up to them. All right? And the same go for us when it come to them. All right? We can't decipher who or what's what. So all y'all motherfuckers is suspect right now. Respectfully. And I don't give a fuck who don't like it. Because, like I said, he the only goddamn black kid out there. All right, somebody seen something. Somebody seen something. Somebody knows something. Somebody was involved with it. And not only that, bro, I bet you they ran straight to their parents, straight to their legal guardians, all right? And they did whatever they had to do to cover that situation up, All right, because these kids have not been questioned. Not only have they not been questioned, all right, their names haven't even been released. Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, everybody that's coming up in here, man. Okay, Exceed, I appreciate you. That's their plan. It's going to fail horribly. Appreciate you for the endorsement and super sticker of this live, man. I appreciate it, man. If we could get the likes up, man. All right. This boy just lost his life. If it was your son, your nephew, daughter, aunt, mother, father, sister, respectfully, would you want a motherfucker just sitting there watching the TV and watching the phone without hitting the like button or sharing this? So this informative information can get out who it needs to get out to, so it can help you, right? So the same thing goes here, okay, for this young man and his family. All right, because that's the only way the information will reach who it needs to reach. All right, we only got 48 likes, 50 likes, all right, and we got over 80 people in here. All right, I ain't asking for no donation. I ain't got no goals, any of that. All I want y'all to do is get the likes up so we get this informative information out. Okay? Because, see something here. It's just crazy. Okay? I'm still kind of baffled about the, even though it's not none of my business, but I'm kind of baffled about his last name and his mom and dad last name. Okay, they have completely different last names. His last name is Wells and their last name is Wansley. All right, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'm hearing Christine is his stepmom. Okay. Let me pull the picture up here. They said that's his stepmom. They said that's his stepmom. Okay. But his last name is Wells. Nolan, that is. All right. And their last name is Wansley. So that's very strange. Let's see, man. I just got a notification. See what this is, man. Oh, yeah, it's the situation from the shade room that I was trying to tell y'all, right? that they're blocking the friends out. You see this, right? Okay, they post the story, but they block the friends out. Okay, and it's people in the comment section, including me. Okay, but they say, oh Lord. All right, everybody is talking about it. Show the young men. You see this, right? Who had their arm around him. You see this, right? Okay, I'm hearing that the shade room has been threatened already. Okay, by the authorities, all right, down there in Mississippi. This is why the shade room is blocking these people out. And people in the comment section are going crazy. Show the young men who had their arm around him. Show the whole picture. That's always important in a missing persons case. Strategic drop. You see this, right? Okay. I'm sorry. This is why my son will not be the only black boy in a group of white boys that are his friends, because how everyone but him made it home. I don't care what y'all say. Stop being naive about racism and how deep it goes, especially in the South. Okay? Check it out. I even said it too. I wonder why the shade room block out the white friends in this picture with Nolan, which just so happens to be the last people he was seen with on that boat. Maybe it's because the parents of the white friends are connected to some powerful folks in that town. County, judge, lawyers, sheriff's department, deputy clerk, politicians, just to name a few. Strategic drop. Let's get the views up, y'all. Let's get the likes up. The shade room on some bullshit. All right. And they already have been threatened. Okay. Allegedly by these people here. One of them anyway. All right. She is the judge of Jackson, Georgia, and Greene counties down there in Mississippi, y'all. Okay? One of the friends, their mom is a judge. Okay? And the other friends, their dad, their mom, they all work for the county. They all work for that town. They all work for City Hall, Sheriff's Department, the fucking court office, everything. All right? These are all facts, y'all. Strategic drops. Okay? So allegedly, these people reached out to the shade room and threatened them not to what? Put those pictures up. Because you have to ask yourself, why would they block out these boys? Tell you why they blocked them out. All right? Because they know what the fuck happened. They know what the fuck they did to that boy. And like I said, y'all, my reliable resources are telling me that Nolan was dead before he went into the water. They just found his body 8:30 this morning. All right? And before they found his body, somebody under, okay, his mom post put something very, very, okay, foreshadowing up on that goddamn post. All right. And he actually told them exactly where to find Nolan's body, y'all. Okay. Check it out. Told them. All right. I feel as though this message here was very odd, very strange. Okay. He already basically was letting everybody know that what? He drowned. he was in the water and he was dead. How would this person know that? How would this person know that? How would this person actually already know that Nolan drowned and his body was going to float back up to the surface in 24 hours? Make it make motherfucking sense around this bitch. He said, for y'all looking for that black boy, check it out. For those out here looking for that Nolan Wells black boy, yeah, that went missing from the waters off the north side, West Horn. I had fished these waters over 45 years, right? And you know exactly where the body was at, didn't you? And I had fished these waters over 45 years now, and I know these waters as good as anyone. And the currents this time of the year are moderate to strong. With that said, they tend to circle in this area between Horn and Deer. Pay attention, okay? Circle this area between Horn and Deer. We've always called this area the washing machine. Pay attention to this shit, y'all. And due to currents from Biloxi Bay coming in from the north and the predominant wind and tides coming in from the southeast this time of the year. And over the years, I have lost everything from floaties to coolers and life vests from weekends on the west end of Horn. And in many cases found them in the circle or in the map. So this is where I'll be looking for the next 24 hours. Okay? And that's exactly what the fuck happened. Shout out Exceed for the sponsorship and endorsement of this live. Who is Katie and where is she at? Far as we know, she probably doesn't exist. Another cover up, right? We was talking about that. All right, who the fuck is this Katie? Where is she? All right, and where the hell did she come from? Who the hell is she related to? All right, but I also was telling everybody, okay, that allegedly this girl Katie that they're saying that he left with, y'all, all right, a lot of the white boys and a lot of people didn't like the fact that Nolan was having activities with this white girl at this 4th of July event on Horn Island. All right. Now, I don't know how true it is, but this is what's being said. And like I said, all right, history states, okay, everything that I'm saying that can add credibility to what we're breaking down. Okay, that those rednecks, those racist ass rednecks do not like what? Black men with their women. They don't like black boys with their women. All right. And if they find out that you with their women, all right, and they about that life, that redneck life, they will plot to kill your ass. Let me say it again. All right. If you run across the right rednecks that's about that life, you know how these so-called gangs and these YNs are about that spinning in that street life? Well, let me tell you something. You got some rednecks out here that's about that lynch life, that lynch mob, for real. All right, they take that shit to the grave. All right, and they find out that you with a white woman, they will plot to kill you and your whole goddamn family. All right? These are facts. These are facts. They will plot to kill you, run up in your house and kill your whole goddamn family. You run across the right motherfucking rednecks here. All right? This shit ain't no motherfucking game. And they said that a lot of boys and a lot of rednecks did not like the fact that old boy was with this so-called girl named Katie. All right? Crazy, crazy work, man. Crazy, crazy work. All right? And yo, if you notice, right? Check this out. When let me show y'all something here. All right. When the news first broke about Nolan Wells, right? Show y'all this shit. When the news first broke about Nolan and he was missing, right? You notice that nobody else on the scene, everybody that was out there so-called partying, having a good time, all right, nobody even talked to the news at all and gave a statement or nothing. Peep the game, y'all. All the people that was out there on the 4th of July.
For a teen reported missing from Horn Island. 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells was last seen yesterday around 3 o'clock on the east end of Horn Island. Jackson County Sheriff's Marine Patrol, DMR, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the United Cajun Navy were canvassing the island today. I'm told the longer this search goes on, the more dire the outcome, especially in a disappearance on an island like this.
After 48 hours is when the survivability index starts to go down dramatically. There were some people that thought he might have, wandered off into the middle of the island. Maybe they have that lake, but we sent people up there today, and if he was barefoot, there's no way he made it up there. There's cactuses and there's just a lot of thorny brush and whatnot. He would not have comfortably been able to make it to the middle of the island. He probably would have turned around and went back toward the beach.
Now, if you saw Wells yesterday,
as you notice, right? Even the local news down there, strategic drop. Okay, even the local news is doing what, y'all? What are they doing? What is the local news doing? They're also blocking the pictures of who? The main suspects, right? Right? Okay, so we got the shade room and a what? A local news station. Like I told you that the shade room got threats from local authorities and law enforcement down there in Mississippi not to show them boys' face. And just like this news broadcast also got that same goddamn warning. Because why they didn't say these was the last boys he was seen with? Hit the like button. Strategic drop. Where we make real life matters make real life sense. Not one of those news. Only people on social media. None of the news broadcasts have been reporting about being seen with these white boys. The last person he was with. At all. At all. What you think? the news would be like, yo, these were the last people he was with. All right. He wound up disappearing right after this picture here. This is who he was with on the boat, having a good time. They never mentioned these white boys. They never mentioned that he was with any of these white boys at all. Okay? And like I said, it's a major cover-up going on down there in Mississippi. A major cover-up. A major cover-up. Okay? So now his body has been found. Okay? And what I find very odd and strange is, okay, the parents and the family was there this morning, okay, when the body was found. The parents and the family was there on the scene when the body was found this morning. Okay? And I feel as though the sheriff's department and that Navy group, all right, that went out there looking for that body, they knew that they was going to recover that body today because they knew exactly where that body was at. They knew exactly where that body was at and where that body was going to pop up at. Okay? Because look at all that water out there, y'all. Ain't no telling how far them boats went out or anything. They knew the exact area where to find that body. We're talking about this big ass huge body of water, y'all. Okay? All that water out there. And they knew exactly what area to find that body. You know why? Because they know exactly what happened, how it happened, where it happened, what time it happened. All right? And they had plenty of time to cover up their tracks. That's why it wasn't reported, okay, at all. None of the friends reported a goddamn thing. It was the parents that reported Nolan missing when he didn't return from the trip. When he didn't return from the trip. That's when a report went out. They knew that boy was gone. They knew that boy was dead. All right? And I believe they took his phone for a reason. I believe they took his phone for a reason. All right? And it's something that was in that phone that they wind up what? Covering up. Erasing, deleting something. Look how many boats were out there, y'all. It wasn't only just them in one boat and shit like that. Nah. It was a whole bay of people out there. It was a whole fleet of people out there. All right? It was hundreds of people out there, yo. All right? This is a main hub for weekend, holiday, and social events on the regular. All right? Everybody in that area, in and around, come out, put their boats on that water and party every fucking weekend. That island is packed every weekend. And everybody out there with their boats, fishing, drinking, playing music, breaking the law or the water as much as they want because they own the goddamn town. Like I said, a lot of people that was out there on that water that day, okay, was lawyers, deputy sheriffs, judges, and all that shit. Who's to say that their parents wasn't out there too? I'm hearing, okay, that one of their dads was driving the fucking boat. They wasn't driving the boat. They dad, that's their dad boat. Okay? That's their dad's boat, y'all. They waited. They waited. And they waited. Okay? To somebody else noticed that Nolan was missing before anything was said. All right? And this is sad. This is sad. All right? It's a lot of racial tension and a lot of racial division involved in this country and on these latest cases that's been happening in the mainstream media. It's a lot of racial profiling and a lot of racial tension attached to it. A lot. A lot, y'all. Okay, hold on. I got an update. Shout out everybody that's coming up in here. See something here. Okay. Family identifies the body, y'all. Okay? The body has been identified. Sources are saying. Okay? Family identifies body found on Horn Island as 18-year-old Nolan Wells. I told y'all. All right. They called the family this morning because they knew they was going to pull that body out that water, y'all. They knew they was going to pull that body out that water. Okay? And like I said, I'm hearing They might have found his body in that water, but that's not where he died at. That's not how he died. He did not die from asphyxiation or any type of drowning, any type of suffocation or any of that shit. All right. They're saying that Nolan was dead before he went in that water. And he was thrown in that water, all right, to get rid of evidence. All right? Because we know when your body is in the water for a certain amount of time, all right, it starts to blow up. And your body becomes a floater, is what they call it. When it blows up and it swells up real big. All right, and you have to be careful how you handle the body, because the body will start to fall apart if you grab it a certain way or handle it a certain way. All right. So I feel as though throwing his body into the water, into the salt water, all right, is getting rid of a lot of evidence that can prove that this was a homicide and not a mistake. That's what they're going to say. Accidental drowning. I'm telling you right now what the coroner is going to say. Accidental drowning. Accidental drowning. He had a blood alcohol level of 3.4 in his system. He had amphetamines and all this shit. I could just imagine what they're going to cook up, yo. They're going to try to make this kid look like it was his fault that he took his own life, or it's his fault that this tragic situation happened to him. All right, and they're going to take all the attention off of these boys here like they're doing right now. All right, they're doing their best to cover the identity of these boys. All right, and anybody out there, all right, that's listening or come across this live, all right, if y'all got any information on this situation concerning Nolan Wells and what led to his disappearance and what led to his death. If anybody have any vital strategic information, if anybody can give me information about who these boys are, what's their names, who they're affiliated with, because we know just about everything about Nolan, and he's the fucking victim, respectfully. But we don't know shit about these fucking public enemy number one should be fucking suspects at all. If it was the other way around and it was three black boys and a white boy, all right, they had them black boys face plastered everywhere. Their names, their addresses, their social media accounts, who they related to, their record, everything. But now it's the other way around. It's being covered up. They're covering the identity of these boys because these boys got something to do with it. If they didn't, they'd come out and talk. They wouldn't have shit to hide. Why are they hiding? You're supposed to be his friend, right? Supposed to be his pal, his buddy, right? So why y'all ain't speaking up? Why y'all all quiet? Why y'all all hiding? And when the shit first happened, why y'all ain't say nothing? It don't take a fucking rocket scientist. Okay? It don't. It don't. All right, and I'm gonna say it the way it needs to be said, respectfully as I could. If it was 3 fucking black boys and 1 white boy, all right, and that white boy ain't returned, see how the white people act about theirs. See how the media act about theirs. See how the local sheriff's fucking department and everybody involved act about theirs. And watch how they plaster that black kid all over social media. All of them. All their faces. It's hard to determine the cause of death when the body has been in the water. Exactly. All right? They knew exactly what the fuck they was doing. They knew exactly what they were doing, y'all. All right? And they had help. They had assistance from adults. They had assistance from adults. Just like that situation with Kendrick Johnson. All right? Those boys was assisted by adults and their father and the people who work inside the school and shit. Shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy. Okay? Update family identifies body of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Okay? Jackson County, Mississippi, right? Jackson County. Strategic drop, right? And where is one of those kids' mother from, y'all? Where's she from? What the Facebook post say? Okay? Check it out. Jackson County, y'all. Jackson County. Jackson County. Okay? A body was found in the water on the northwest end of Horn Island on Monday morning. All right, according to Jackson County Sheriff. Officials said the body, which is believed to be of the 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells, was found around 8:45 by a park ranger. See this, right? A park ranger. They knew exactly where that body was at. They didn't say the dive team. Pay attention to this shit. They didn't say the dive team found them. They didn't say the Navy team found them, who the mom shouted out. Okay, they said a goddamn park ranger found them. Look, the mom shouted out United Cajun Navy. Okay, and it was a park ranger. A park ranger don't swim. A park ranger don't go into the water and look for bodies. Okay? I believe something ain't adding up here, y'all. Okay? By a park ranger, Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lynn said DNA testing would officially confirm the identity. There is no reason to believe it is not him. You see that, right? How are they so 100% sure? Because they fucking know what happened, all right? And where exactly his body is at, all right? There is no reason to believe it's not him. How y'all know it ain't somebody else's fucking body, right? Y'all are absolutely sure of it, ain't y'all? Right, okay? The sheriff also said the body found did match the description of Wells, and the family shared photos on social media confirming their loss. Okay? Check this out. Okay? I told y'all what my reliable resources was telling me, that Nolan was dead before he hit that water, bro. Okay? So if the park ranger found him, that means they found his body on land, right? Let's make real life matters, make real life fucking sense. If the park ranger found his body and discovered his body, that means that boy body had to be on some type of land where the park ranger had access to, where he's able to drive and walk or however a park ranger get around in the park. We know it ain't on no goddamn boat. We know that for goddamn sure. Strategic drop. We know, don't no goddamn park ranger be on no boat. Okay? As a matter of fact, okay? Hold on. See something here. Okay? Just like I said, it's the park ranger. Is he in the fucking water? Strategic drop. All right? Horn Allen. Park ranger. Park ranger, y'all. Okay? Park rangers do not be on the water, which means his body had to be found on some type of land, y'all. All right, and like I said, all right, allegedly, they already knew where the body was at. They already knew where the body was at and where to go. Okay? And they already getting the false report and the false narrative together. Accidental drowning. All right? The current swept him. The current was too strong. You see, this is why this narrative came out. Pay attention. All right, whoever this weirdo fuck was. telling everybody where the body was at. All right? He even said the current was too strong. Right? Okay, so they already getting a false narrative together. Accidental drowning. He got swept and pulled under by the current. Oh, he had alcohol, blood alcohol level 9.9. All kinds of this, all kinds of that. Marijuana in his system. I can only imagine what they about to come up with. To act like it was this boy's fault that his life was taken. When in reality, all right, somebody took his life. All right? Those white boys. I said it. I don't give a fuck. All right? Those white boys killed Nolan Wells. What else y'all want me to say? What else they want us to think? And the fact that they're trying to cover these boys up tell you all that we need to know. All that we need to know. Park rangers don't go in waters. No. One of them guys on the boat knows the park ranger to help them move the body, bro. I believe it. I believe it. If y'all get kicked out, just kindly come back in, hit the like button, drop an emoji in the chat just to let the algorithm know that you enjoying the live and you engaging, because they don't want this information out. They don't want this shit to reach. All right, because it's going to start a wildfire and it's too fucking late for that. Because like I said, the shit that they telling us ain't adding up, and they breaking us the original story, and it still ain't adding up. Why y'all think they haven't had a press conference yet? I can't wait to see this press conference. Okay? They found the body at 8:30 this morning. Where the press conference at? Strategic drop. Let me say it again. They found the body 8:30 this morning, right? Hold on. Is we tripping around here? 8:45 this morning. Where the goddamn press conference at? Where the press conference at? Y'all know if y'all have a press conference, the pressure really gonna be on. Questions really gonna be asked that need to be answered, right? So y'all hiding now. They ducking and dodging, right? No press conference at all for the body that they found on Horn Island. That happened to be the body of Nolan Wells, y'all. All right? Okay? The police is down with this cover up. Okay? Because they're trying to tell us that his body was found in the water, y'all. Okay? All right? But what they're telling us that a park ranger found his body. And a park ranger does not go in the water at all. Okay, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, which means this body was found, okay, in another location. Okay? For what they're possibly telling us. Okay? And then, how did this park ranger stumble upon this body when they've been looking for the body all weekend? Hit the like button, strategic drop. How the hell did this park ranger stumble upon this body? How was he able to find this body when they've been looking for the body all goddamn weekend? But for some strange reason, he found it. Okay? And if you notice, they never said he was actually. Look, it do say that, okay? His body was found in the water. You see this, right? How was his body found in the water if the park ranger found him, y'all? And like I said, how did this park ranger know exactly where to go to find this body? It's impossible that's right. We ain't leaving shit out. We all the way strategic over here. It's impossible that Nolan Wells' body was somewhere else and it was moved to that water, acting like the body was found. I don't know. But one thing for sure, two things for damn sure, three things for certain. All right? Ain't nobody just gonna walk up straight up on that body and find that body when everybody been searching all goddamn weekend. How this sheriff this ranger stumbled upon his body. Because they already knew where the fuck that body was at. They already knew where that body was at, y'all. I'm telling you. They already knew where that boy body was at. All right, some strange shit going on in Mississippi. And it's been going on in Mississippi for years. Okay, some of the old kind even tell you. See all the people out there on that boat? See all the people out there on that bay of water, on that body of water? Excuse me. All right? Plenty of boats. Hundreds of people out there. Everybody in the water. You hear that, right? Those white boys in the picture, all right? Let me solarize it and polarize it. Those white boys in the picture should be questioned for sure. If this is new, just from me knowing their background, going to school with them, I hope these are not the boys that was on that boat. All right? So somebody got some history with Nolan and those boys that he was with on that boat. Okay? Is these the same boys or no? All right, come on. The audio out. All right. Hold on a second. Give me a second here, y'all. I apologize about that. Let's get it.
Springs, Mississippi. It's a lot more sinister than you guys think. Allegedly. I'm saying that because what I'm seeing online is pretty crazy. Okay, let's start off with 17-year-old Nolan Wells is missing from Horn Island, Mississippi, right off the coast of Biloxi. There's photos and a little video that was posted on the Horn Island group chat on Facebook. A girl named Vi Alice Ross posted that the white boys needed to be investigated because she went to school with them and it wasn't all that you guys think it is. Another girl, Caitlin, states that she was parked next to them until about 7:30 with no sign of Nolan to be found. But yet the report was he went missing earlier in the day, so why would they continue partying? It just doesn't make sense to me. And then this other commenter, Maggie, posted that there's too many white people to not notice that their one black friend is missing.
Too many white people to notice that their one black friend is missing. That's just like if it was a whole bunch of black people and we got one white friend, right? And he wound up not being seen anywhere. It'd be so obvious, right? I mean, not trying to be funny, but if it was a white person at a party with a whole bunch of black people and a white boy disappeared even for a couple of minutes, it'd be obviously noticeable, won't it? Because he's the only white boy in the party, right? He stick out like a sore thumb, right? Same thing with Nolan, all right? It's impossible for them not to know, okay, that Nolan was missing, okay? Because y'all right in the picture with him. He came with y'all, but he ain't leave with y'all, right? But y'all said, oh, I thought he got a ride from somebody else, but he gonna leave his phone with y'all. Make it make sense. You fucking goofies. Y'all niggas can't even lie. Y'all tell on yourself. He gonna catch a ride with somebody else to shore, but he gonna leave his phone with you. Why would he take his phone? Why he gonna leave his phone with you all of a sudden? Because yesterday, all right, people were going crazy on Facebook because they pinged his location, y'all, and his location was going off on Horn Out. Okay, and come to find out, his mom had his phone. Okay, and she was on Horn Island at the time. See something here.
on the island. Somebody knows something. I'm from here. Born and raised, baby. So they found a body on the island. Why didn't they look there first? How did they find a body on the island? How did a body get on the island? How did an 18-year-old boy pass away just on the island? Somebody knows something. I'm from here. Born and raised, baby. Somebody knows something. Shit like this don't just happen. And somebody knows something. I'm telling you. It's choking me. Somebody did something to that boy.
Told you. You hear that, right?
So
you heard that, right? She said somebody did something to that boy. All right. Not only did she say somebody did something to that boy. All right. Y'all basically know who she's saying did something to that boy, right? Right? Y'all can look right in this girl's eyes and you can tell what she's leaning to, right? And what was done to Nolan, right?
tragic. This is really bad. Boy, this is somebody did something to that boy. This is not right. I'm praying for the Walmsley family. This is tragic.
Now, I am also hearing, y'all, that, like I said, down there in them parts is very, 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 very a racist place to be and a racist place to live. All right. And a lot of this racism is inherited in those folks down there. All right. Now, I am also hearing, y'all, that Nolan was I have to be careful how I say this in the way I say it. But it needs to be said because allegedly they're saying that Nolan was murdered, possibly killed and tortured, due to some 4th of July ritual that go back decades and decades ago when on the 4th of July, white people used to sell slaves. They used to torture slaves and all kinds of things used to go on the 4th of July. Okay. And a lot of horrible things was being done to black people by white people. It was a tradition. It's a tradition. This is a known fact. This is researchable. And they saying what happened on that water, okay, possibly, okay, was some type of ritual tradition that is inherited in these type of rednecks that actually celebrate killing off black people on these type of days. All right, now, like I said, this is an American tradition. This is a known fact. And let's not forget, this is also the what? They are celebrating the what? 250-year anniversary of America. And we know what America was built on. All the colonizers and all this and all that, all the slave plantations and everything that came with that situation. Now, like I said, you still have some people that shit is inherited. They take that shit all the way to the grave. And what I mean inherited and what they take to the grave, the hate for black folks, the tradition of killing black people, the tradition of torturing black people, the tradition of enslaving black people. Is it making sense now that he went out there to an all-white event, the only black person, and he the only one that didn't come the fuck back? All the people that was on that water, he went to an all-white event, an all-white event, all right? And he didn't come back. And like I said, man, they claiming that they found his body in the water, but my reliable resources are telling me that Nolan was dead before his body even hit the water. Nolan was dead before his body even hit the water. And the only reason why his body was either even in the water or near any water is because they were trying to cover up evidence. They were trying to wash away evidence. My question is, how long did he know those guys? Okay. Allegedly, some of these guys are on the same football team as him. I don't know. Okay, but it's predominantly white people around there. It's not that many black people in those parts. You know, so if you are a black person or a black family out there, you stick out like a sore thumb. Everybody will know who you are. It's one of them type of towns in one of them type of areas. Okay, where black people and black family is one of a few, not many at all. That's why we see so many white people inside that water. See. Look at all these folks inside that water, man. All right. Look at all them folks inside that water. Whole bunch of hillbillies. Whole bunch of Dukes of Hazzard looking motherfuckers. All right. And everybody turn their head the other way. Everybody ain't see a motherfucking thing. All right. On the 4th of July. Do I need to solarize it and polarize it what they used to do to black people and slaves on the 4th of July? Hold on. Strategic drop. All right. Let's make real life matters, make real life sense. Okay, because they're saying that this boy was allegedly, possibly tortured for this known tradition of what used to go down in America, how white people used to what? Torture black people, sell black people, humiliate black people, degrade black people, and all kinds of things on this day of 4th of July. Okay? Shout out to the whole nation. See something here. You see this, right? Strategic drop. Hit the like button. Check this out. Strategic drop. Let's go. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. What it say? Historically, what? Strategic drop. Historically, white Americans often use the 4th of July to exclude, intimidate, or attack Black Americans. Strategic drop. One of the best to do this shit. Strategic drop, y'all. Strategic drop. We could go deeper. No funny shit. We could go deeper. Y'all know I got the spiritual discernment. It's a lot of things I haven't even spoke on or even added to the situation. And I could have added plenty. I could have degraded plenty. I chose to be humble. Respectfully. Y'all already know how I rock. Y'all already know how I stomp, step, and stand on shit for real. And I've been very humble today about a situation that I shouldn't be humble about at all. Okay? Strategic drop. And what our stupid black asses out there doing? Lighting fireworks to shit, celebrating the shit. Right. Our parents ain't no better. Our aunts and uncles, our grandmamas ain't no goddamn better either. Because if they did, they wouldn't been celebrating this fucking shit. Give a fuck who don't like it. I don't celebrate that fucking shit. Once upon a time I did. I once was blind, but now I fucking see all the way clear. Okay, while some white citizens celebrated the holiday, Black Americans frequently face restrictions on basic public access, like being banned from what? Buying vanilla ice cream. Strategic drop. They ain't want us eating fucking white ice cream, yo. This is how deep that shit is. And a lot of people think this shit is over with. This shit wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. And not only that, it's happening right now, today. Check this out. The 5th of July, tradition. Woo! Check it out, y'all. Did they teach us this in school? Did our parents teach us this? Did our grandmama teach us this? Granddaddy, uncle, aunties? Why they buying us these firecrackers and lighting these shits? On the 5th of July, the tradition. Y'all see this, right? Man, listen. Everybody ain't ready. Everybody ain't ready. Everybody ain't ready. All right? Listen here, man. They used to torture us. And people come from all over to watch it as a spectacle. People come from all over to watch it as a spectacle. People used to pay to see how white people torture black people. All right, used to bring their kids and all that shit. This is why it's still inherited in so many people right now today, okay? Because they been doing this shit since they was babies. They mama and they daddy, they auntie and uncles and they grandmamas and grandfathers and they forefathers, all right, inherited this shit in them, instilled this shit in them, okay? When they grandmamas took them to the carnival, all right, they wasn't throwing balls in the fucking basket. They was throwing balls at the nigga baby head, motherfucker. Let me say it again. When they grandmamas and them took their ass to the carnivals and to the local fair, okay, they wasn't throwing balls and shit in a basket. They was throwing balls and shit at the nigga baby goddamn head. That's what they were doing. That type of shit. Imagine you being a child, being taught, okay, to torture black kids and black babies. They looking at that shit as some type of amusement, some type of attraction. And that's where the actual carnivals and fairs and all that shit actually come from. You know that, right? Okay. But anyway, like I was saying, this shit is instilled in these motherfuckers. It's a different level of hatred they have for us. All right? A whole different level of hatred. They read books about it. They study about it. Okay? They into that shit deep. I'm talking about deep, deep. And like I said, what you expect when they grandmama, great grandmama, and they forefathers and shit was taking them to fairs and carnivals, and they great grandmamas and shit had plantations. They great grandfathers and them had plantations when they owned black people. The reason why they got their inheritance and their wealth is because their grandmama, their grandfather, their forefathers, okay, owned slaves and enslaved black people. And they got their wealth off of enslaving us. All right. So, like I said, man, It won't surprise me if everybody out there, motherfucker, on that water, okay, know exactly what the fuck happened to that boy. All right, it won't surprise me at all. At all. It won't surprise me. At all, y'all. Okay? This was a fucking, I believe that this was some type of ritual sacrifice of this black boy for this holiday, for them white folks, yo. Okay? And that's why they ain't saying shit. All right? The shit is crazy, man. All right? Show y'all something else. Check it out, man. Shit get deeper and deeper. Okay? Check it out. Before the Civil War, Independence Day did not bring liberation for enslaved black people. All right? Instead, they were often forced to continue working in what? What I just say? With the grandmamas and granddaddies owned plantations and in the fields. White Americans' traditions for black Americans on the holiday were frequently characterized by the continuation of bondage, the mockery of holding slave auctions, and the threat of severe racial violence. Okay? This is real shit. All right, and it's still celebrated right now to this fucking day. Why you think that boy went missing? Why you think he dead with all the white folks around? Everybody laughing, giggling, and joking like it's a fucking joke. All right, they knew they was gonna kill that boy. They knew they was gonna kill that boy that day. They knew that they was gonna kill him, yo. All right. They knew that they was going to kill Nolan. They knew he wasn't coming back. All right. And I believe some adults got a lot to do with it. Not only the cover up, okay, but I believe the adults also played the part, all right, in murdering Nolan as well. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. I believe some adults played the part in murdering Nolan too. All right? Because, like I said, it's embedded in them, it's inherited in them. All right? It's their tradition on this holiday. All right? It's their tradition on this holiday. Facts. Facts. We can keep going further. We can keep going further. All right? Strategic drops. Okay? If black communities tried to celebrate, all right, they'd be hung, attacked, killed, humiliated, auctioned off. You see this, right? They couldn't even celebrate. Excuse me. We couldn't even celebrate on the same day they celebrated it. All right? Okay, and if they did, they look at that as disrespect. You see what they do, right? And like I said, these motherfuckers still believe in this shit. They take this shit like an oath, like a game, like these dark, demonic, demon, warlock, witches, worshiping motherfuckers do. When they take that oath and sell they soul, all right? Similar to what these type of white people do about this type of tradition, okay? They die about that shit for real. They die about that shit for real. All right? That Jim Crow shit. Okay? So, like I said, yo, the 4th of July is actually a very, very bad holiday for black folks in America. All right? If you actually knew the actual history and everything black people went through, and all of our ancestors and our forefathers and the people that came before us, man, we wouldn't celebrate that shit. Y'all wouldn't celebrate that shit at all. No way in the world, or nothing close to it. They used to light the goddamn fireworks and shit when they hanging us. Okay, it was a celebration. They start lighting fireworks and shit when a nigga get killed. When they hanging a nigga. But yeah, man. The situation is crazy. And like I said, man, it said a ranger, park ranger, found him. Well, why they acting like they was diving in the water and they found him? See what I'm saying? When a park ranger found him. See what I'm saying, y'all? Something ain't adding up. You see? They're putting the boat in the water, right? Which means the park ranger allegedly already found the body, right? Okay. They said his body was found at 8:45 a.m. by a park ranger. So his body was found by a park ranger. Then they what? Call the dive team and all that out to go get his body out the water. Something ain't adding up. Because, like I said, a park ranger, and just like everybody in the chat said that are familiar with this shit, a park ranger do not touch the water. A park ranger do not touch the water. What's going in that water? Sheriff's office, right? State law enforcement. Harrison County Sheriff. That's not a park ranger. All right? This is the park ranger. Okay? So somebody of his stature finds the body, but they go out on a boat and they get the body out the water. And like I said, it's not adding up, because if they saying the ranger found the body and they pulled the body out the water, how did the ranger find the body in the water when the ranger don't be on the water, they be on the land? So something definitely not adding up, and it's not making sense. All right? At all. At all. But shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, man. Everybody that joined me today, man. The situation is very tragic. It's very fucked up, man. Okay, but unfortunately, all right, these are the type of people that exist. These are the type of people that are among us. All right, don't get too comfortable. All right, don't think it can't happen to you or somebody in your family, your kids, your loved one. All right, respectful. I'm just saying, man, stay prayed up at all times. All right, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, because you never know who's plotting to do some evil to you or your loved one. All right. And like I said, unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. All right. We send our kids off and we hope that they come back safe, all in one piece. You know, but whoever would have thought that they sent this young man off to go have fun on the weekend of the 4th of July, and he don't return, but everybody else return. The same people that he went with. All right. Situation is unfortunate, but It happens. All right. Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, man. I appreciate y'all for joining me today for this live, man. You know, I appreciate all the love and the support that I've been getting on the meltdowns as well. All right. Shout out to all the endorsers and sponsors of this live. I appreciate it, man. All right. Shout out to everybody who sponsored this show and endorsed this live. Shout out to anybody who hit the Cash App up. I appreciate it. If y'all hit the Cash App, y'all are appreciated. I appreciate y'all. Okay? All donations is well received wholeheartedly. It ain't got to necessarily be a currency donation. All right? A simple like, share, and a subscribe is also a donation to the platform. All right? Shout out to Tashima for the Cash App donation, man. I appreciate you. I do. Thank you for all the love and all the support. And like I said, man, I know some more things is going to come out about this situation with Nolan. All right, and I can bet you, okay, that these boys here don't get charged. I bet you nobody get charged for this situation at all. I bet you nobody get charged, y'all. Okay? So it's going to be very interesting to see how this play out. I will be trying to keep y'all updated on this situation as I got other things that I'm working on too for the channel, man. Trying to stay consistent. But shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, everybody that joined me again today, man. I mean, RIP Nolan Wells, man. Condolences and prayers to his family. You know what I mean? And I'm going to keep it real, yo. I already know how this going to play out. All right? Ain't nobody going to be charged for that man's shit, yo. Ain't nobody going to be charged for his death at all. All right? They covering that shit up right now. Already know how this going to play out. All right? Sad to say it, but it's true. Already know how this going to play out. All the way. Ain't nobody gonna get arrested. Nobody gonna be charged for this murder, which they're going to call an accidental drowning, man. Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation. Like, share, subscribe. I mean, if you're in a fire starter, hawker, walker, or stalker yet, man, what you waiting on? Come over here and join the Fire Flame Nation. Get your Fire Flame Inferno badges only $2.99 a month. Straight out the gate, you got access to custom badges, perks, and emojis, man. They go right along with the Fire Starter Bland and the Fire Starter Nation. Appreciate y'all. Like, share, subscribe. We up out of here. Stay prayed up at all times. We gone, y'all.